First part of religion and human relationships is about the roles of men, women and children in the family. These roles, or the way that men, women and children behave, are affected by ashramas, samskaras, dharma or duty, the caste system and the Ramayana. So let's start off by talking about the ashramas. In Hinduism there are 4 ashramas. The first one is called studenthood, the second one is householder or kshatriya, the third one is retired, and the fourth one is holy person. Most Hindus only go through the first 2 and end up being householder or remaining married for the duration of their lives. When Hindus are born and up until the age of 14, their spiritual development and their life really is looked after by their mother. That's her dharma or duty, to look after her children. When they get to 14, they will do a samskara. Samskaras are rituals or ceremonies that accompany the ashramas or the changes in life. The children will have already done about 9 or 10 of these samskaras to get themselves good karma. When they move into the studenthood ashrama, they do the sacred thread samskara. So if you imagine a child being 14 and moving into the studenthood ashrama, their dharma changes. Before they were a student, all they had to do was basically follow what their parents were saying and be a good child. When they move into the first ashrama, studenthood, they have to become a student of Hinduism. They have to do jnana, which is learn as much as they can about Hinduism. They have to visit the mandir with their father. He takes over responsibility for their spiritual development. And they're expected to follow the laws of ahimsa, so they would be a vegetarian. Now, all Hindus, or it's expected of all of the Hindus, as part of their dharma, to move into the second ashrama, the kshatriya ashrama, or the married or householder ashrama. Once they do, their dharma changes again. So for instance, a young man who becomes a groom and then a married man will be expected to provide for his family. He would be expected to do this in a moral way, which is artha. And he would also be expected to seek his pleasures morally. That's kama. He would also be expected to be faithful, like Rama in the Ramayana, and he would also be expected to follow the laws of ahimsa. Now, a married woman's dharma changes from that of a young girl who's a student. She has to look after her mother-in-law. She's expected to have children, preferably boys, because they will go out to earn a living and bring money into the household, and also in the olden days they would bring home a dowry when they got married. She's expected to cook and clean the house. She's expected to look after the family shrine, and she would be in charge of the daily puja, or the daily worship in the household. She would also be expected to get the household ready for festivals during the course of the year, like Diwali or Holi. So you can see that somebody's duty or dharma has a big impact on the roles that they perform in the house and for the family. The caste system would also have an impact on the roles that men and women would have in the family. For instance, if you were in the top varna in the caste system and a priest, you'd have a very different role in life than somebody who is a shudra, who is the second bottom varna in the caste system. The priests would be expected to go out and perform spiritual business. They would go to people's houses and bless shrines. They might have a job at a mandir, whereas a shudra would have a job in a lowly profession. They might be a simple trader. In fact, they might work as a labourer. So their lives would be very different. Finally, it's worth bearing in mind the impact that the Ramayana or sacred scriptures have on the roles of men and women. Rama and Sita are 2 gods in the Hindu pantheon. Rama is seen as the ideal man. He's fearless, courageous, faithful, always loyal. Sita is beautiful, faithful, and never gives up. And the story of the Ramayana is a story about Sita being kidnapped by an evil demon who holds her captive for 10 years. And over the course of those 10 years, Rama battles to find her, and Sita remains faithful to him. So those two messages of loyalty and faithfulness, unswerving dedication and devotion to each other, are important principles that underline how men and women, and eventually children, should behave in the Hindu family.